Welcome to another edition of Pack Profiles presented by the Dolan Automotive Group. It's our series where we go behind the scenes. We take you off of the playing surface and try to find out about our coaches and athletes around campus. Head coach David Carter is with us today, and we all know Coach Carter for his work as an assistant basketball coach and, of course, now the head coach here at the University of Nevada. But basketball has been a part of your life for a long, long time. What are some of your first memories about going out and playing the game as a kid?
Well, growing up, on the streets, you play football, and I got introduced to basketball when I was in fourth grade. And didn't know how to play, didn't know how to dribble, shoot, or anything. I looked at, watched the Lakers, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was my hero. I knew I wasn't going to be 7'4", so I was really questioning whether I wanted to play basketball or not. But, it was at an early age that I got introduced to basketball, and really enjoyed it. Really just played that year round along with a little bit of baseball.
When do you think it became a priority for you? When did basketball kind of take over and consume you?
I think around middle school, sixth, seventh grade. It really became very competitive. I was traveling around with a travel team in Los Angeles, and we were able to go out of state for the first time. When you're, seventh grade, you go out of state, you stay in a hotel. And it became very serious about competition, and it wasn't just about sports, it was about life.
One of my favorite stories that you ever told me is about when your mom would take you and your brother to the park when you were a kid. Tell us that story about playing basketball when you were supposed to be doing something else.
Well, we were at Jackie Robinson Park, and there was a gym and a swimming pool. And my mother would drop us off and say she'd come back an hour. And I'm young as a 5, and 3 of my brothers would go out and swim. And when they go swimming, I went and play basketball. Well, 10 minutes before she's coming to get us, I'd jump in the pool, get my hair wet, get a little dry skin, and she thought I was, learn how to swim all those times, and really I was going to play basketball.
And you kept that scam up for a long time, right? You didn't find out till high school that you didn't actually go out in the pool.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. I was at my cousin's house, and my little cousin fell into the pool, and my mother wanted me to go get him, and I said, no, both of us going to drown because I can't swim. And she's like, what happened to all those lessons? I said, I never went.
Pulled it off for a long time. That
well,
was good.
Yeah, because we never had a pool really,
Yeah.
and she was never there when we went swimming. And the beach is a little different. We went to the beach, but I run from the waves. I really never got in them.
You played at Crenshaw High School. When you think about basketball in Southern California, Crenshaw High School is one of the legendary programs. Year in, year out, they produce so many great players. What was it like, the experience of playing there?
Well, it was very competitive at the time. High school started in 10th grade, not 9th grade, and you had tryouts every year. You had to try out regardless if you were a starter or reserve. Every year, seniors tried out, and so Coach West really made it very competitive, and winning was the most important thing, and you learn how to win, and you learn that some discipline in terms of winning. You learn when you lost, you were still a good sport. It wasn't just about being a bad sport. We wore coat and tie to games. We were really, we had mock interviews, so guys would be able to talk in front of the camera. And he did it first class, and it was a great experience for me.
You played in some pretty tough environments, so I imagine at Crenshaw High School. Do you have memories of some of the tougher places that you guys had to go play?
Well, our place was tough, at Crenshaw, so it was a little different then. Most of the inner city basketball was great at that time. One of the toughest places probably was Washington High School. It was a rival games between the two high schools, and we had to get escorted through with security, police escort out to the game and out of the game, and to get to a certain area, then the bus was safe, and that was kind of scary.
Well, I mean, you used that word scary. Did you think about that going to the game? Like, was it a scary situation when you're walking in the gym?
Oh yeah, you're on the bus, and here you have a police car in front of you, and a police car behind you. You get into the gate, and they're telling you, hey, go right through this door. You can't, you don't want to look anywhere. You just want to go get dressed. But the games were safe. You felt safe when you were playing. It was just after the game, you win a game, and now you get on the bus, and you don't know who's on the street. You didn't know if, we had times where, there were rocks thrown at the bus, and you didn't know where they were coming from because it was dark. And we tried to play in the afternoons, early, so you wouldn't avoid the evening games.
From Crenshaw High School in LA to St. Mary's College in Moraga, California. You talk about just two completely different places. What was it like for you when you showed up on that St. Mary's campus for the first time?
It was different. It was first time away from home. I thought, what am I doing here? Oh my God, you're in Moraga. It looks like a golf course, and I never played golf at the time. But it was a good experience. It was very good people. I felt at the time I wanted to get away from Los Angeles. I knew academically, being in a small environment, I thought that would help me to get my degree. And I started looking at life a little different because basketball someday is going to stop, obviously. So you want to try to look at your future and career. Where else could you? What else can you do? And so St. Mary's was a very good choice for me. And at the time, when you're 18, come from Los Angeles, there's always something to do. And I got to Moraga, and it was very quiet, not much to do, and you had to go to San Francisco, which I didn't have a car to get there. So, but it was a good experience. It really showed me a different side of the world. Really, I'm predominantly African American neighborhood, African American high school, and now you're really a minority in college, and really just to adapt to people.
You're close to this day with Lynn Nance, who was your head coach at St. Mary's. How did he impact? I know what he did for you basketball development-wise. How did he impact you as a person in your time there?
Well, it was almost like a father figure, really. Things that he talked about wasn't just about basketball. It was a lot of things about life, the experiences that he's had. He talked about having a career, having a goal, being successful in life. And he always talked about that even in practice or games, and everything was related to life. And that really helped you, once basketball stopped.
I know you've worked for a lot of terrific people, but was Coach Nance the guy that maybe first got you thinking about you wanted to be a coach or go into the profession?
Well, I thought about it earlier than that. I thought about it not necessarily because of him, but I thought about, in college, giving back to young people, whether it's education, teaching. That's what I kind of wanted to do, and had a passion to coach and thought maybe that's where I wanted to go. And he really, talked to me about that. I was a graduate assistant after I graduated St. Mary's. I went to Washington with him, and he talked about, hey, make sure this is something you want to do. It's not a lot of money, it's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and you're dealing with 18-year-olds. It's like, oh my God. So I had to really think about a lot.
Well, Coach Nance had a great impact on Coach Carter, and we're fortunate to have him here at the University of Nevada. Thanks for watching Pack Profiles, presented by the Dolan Automotive Group.